Oh boy, what a crazy day. What a view! This is the Sea of Galilee, or as we call it in Hebrew, Kinneret. Here I'm gonna swim in about 1 hour. I'm gonna start my second sprint triathlon. We're heading to Tzemach, which is the southest beach of the Kinneret. There I need to collect all of my stuff, and then I need to be prepared for the race. So we'll meet at the starting point. Bye. That was my second sprint triathlon. I did one 3 weeks ago. It was supposed to be my best. I still did it with a mountain bike and something really bad happened, but I have some lesson learned, so stay tuned for more details. Hi everybody, I'm Yair and welcome to my channel. This channel is all about my personal fitness journey and the tech that I used in this journey. In today's tech, I use my Apple Watch Series 5, the Coros Pace 2, which is a triathlon watch, and also the Polar Verity Sense as a heart rate monitor. I use it for swimming and for biking, and for the running we'll talk about it in a bit. I really learned to like the Polar Verity Sense and its comfort, so stay tuned for a dedicated video where I'm going to review the Polar Verity Sense. So some details about this sprint triathlon. The location was at the southest beach of Kinneret, which is the Sea of Galilee. We call it Kinneret in Hebrew. You've probably seen the view in the opening. So it was really an amazing day. It was perfect weather. The water in the lake were really nice and calm. And also the cycling route was really flat most of the time. So I really got a chance to push my mountain bike to the limit, and we'll talk about this limit in a bit. So I started with the swimming. So in the swimming, the Polar Verity Sense was next to my temple. It measured my heart rate, and also I've used the Apple Watch capability to track in open water, and I used the triathlon mode in Coros Pace 2. If you haven't seen my previous video, my previous triathlon, I also reviewed the triathlon mode in the Coros Pace 2. I will link this one here if you want to check it out. So let's look about some GPS data before we dive into heart rate. As you can see here, in red you can see the Apple Watch, and I have two things to say about it. First, you can see the straight lines. It doesn't look logical. You can see here also, here was a buoy. When you can see the Coros Pace 2, I made a mistake and then I needed to turn and to pass the buoy, and the Coros Pace 2 GPS looks really like it reflected my swimming, while the Apple Watch mostly are straight lines and it doesn't seem logical. Another thing that you need to take into consideration if you're using an Apple Watch in this type of activities, when I finished the course here, I just needed to click a button in my Coros Pace 2, and because the Apple Watch is a touchscreen based, my hands were wet and I couldn't even press it. I tried until I reached my bike. Here I changed to, here was the changing area, and then I was able to click the Apple Watch and stop the activity. So you should take that into consideration. So let's look at some heart rate data. As you can see here, mostly in most of the time I didn't have any heart rate with the Apple Watch, and when I did have, I don't know what it said. So let's remove the heart rate of the Apple Watch. Now you can see that in most cases, even though the Coros Pace 2 measured a little bit higher heart rate, but it did reflected the heart rate that I had when the Polar Verity Sense, which is much more accurate, counted. So in most cases, except here, you can see that the Coros Pace 2 measured a really high heart rate just in seconds, while the Polar Verity Sense, it took a while for my heart rate to get up here. I don't think that I had 172 BPMs, but in most cases it's quite reliable. And also you can see that the average was almost the same, and also the max, the Coros Pace 2, did measure a bit higher. Also you can look at the swim pace of the Apple Watch. You can see it's just a straight line, it doesn't reflect anything. You can do a triathlon with an Apple Watch. I don't recommend it. You won't get accurate heart rate unless you will use an external one like the Polar Verity Sense. You don't have a dedicated triathlon mode. You may download an app. I saw an app in the App Store that measured the triathlon, but you'll have difficulties using the touchscreen, and you also would have some inaccurate data when it will record the GPS and the heart rate data. The cycling part was exactly 20 kilometers. You can see that the Coros Pace 2 did measure 20 kilometers. The Apple Watch, I don't know, it was lagging behind all the time. In the beginning it was about 200-400 meters, and in the end you can see it was more than 1 kilometer. So maybe there was something wrong with the GPS in my Apple Watch usually, because the Apple Watch GPS usually is much better than this one, but today it didn't measure it quite well. If we look at the heart rate data, again, most of the time you don't even see the Apple Watch, only here in some cases, but the Coros Pace 2 and the Polar Verity Sense are the same. I think the Coros Pace 2 was connected to the Verity Sense in this measurement, so that's why you see, but you can see in some part that the Apple Watch did measure the same one, but it was unreliable also here. So let's talk about my speed for a second. I will remove the speed of the Apple Watch for a second. You can see I started really good. Again, I was with mountain bikes, and I even got to about 30 kilometers per hour, and I had an average of the first 10 kilometers of 25 kilometers per hour. I was about to finish the cycling part in 48 minutes, but unfortunately here I had a flat tire. My tire just blew up, and I didn't know what to do. So somebody tried to help me, and then I had another like about 10 kilometers for the end of the course. I hope that I show some sportsmanship. So I didn't know what to do. I had another 10 kilometers until the end, and I just hid my bike behind a tree, and then I just started running with my helmet and my water bottle until the end, and then I just finished the triathlon without running. So yes, that's what happened. I used my mountain bike. It's a very old pair of mountain bike, and I'm not sure that I should have done it. I think I should buy probably a proper road bike for the next triathlon. And yeah, that's what happens when you have some old bike and you don't have any spare tire to change. So the moral of the day and the lesson learned: if you want to do a triathlon and you want to take it seriously, you should use professional equipment. The Apple Watch is a very good fitness watch. I also did a review on the Apple Watch SE. You can check it out as well. But the Coros Pace 2 is an amazing triathlon watch. I don't think that you can find something in that amount of money. For $200 you get, I think, the best you can find. And you also want to invest in a proper heart rate monitor if you want to measure your heart rate while in the water. Besides that, buy a road bike And if you are doing a triathlon or any type of race, you should always leave the house with an extra inner tube, and you should have a proper bike. You should go to your local bike dealer to inspect that before your race, so you would be able to complete it. I really feel bad about it because I think I could complete this race with the mountain bike and everything in less than 2 hours. I think I had a really nice pace. The swimming part took 23 minutes. The changing was about 5 minutes, and then I rode my bike. It should have taken me about 48 minutes, and probably I would run 5 kilometers in less than 30 minutes. So in the total, I could get a really nice score for someone that is unexperienced as me and also with a mountain bike. So that's the moral of the day. I hope you guys can learn from this in your next triathlon. Let me know what you think. Did you have ever experienced something like that in your training or racing? How did you overcome it? And did somebody help you? Let me know in the comment section down below. And also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please consider doing it, and you can join my journey, my personal fitness journey, and we can do it together. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And until next time, and until next triathlon, be safe and have fun.